Over the next few videos, I wanted to explore more in depth how to create controllers, which is something we touched on in the previous videos, but really haven't gone beyond creating a simple floating point controller. So to start, I'm going to create a teapot, and what I want to do in this video is create a transformation controller or a matrix 3 controller, which will define its position in the world space. To start, I'm going to go into the motion panel and click assign controller, and if you remember from a previous tutorial, we have gone in here and assigned an X position controller. Well, this time, instead of assigning a simple floating point or scalar controller, we're going to assign a whole transform, which is by default a position, rotation, scale transform. But if we click on assign button, we can see our lab xform3 function, and this is what we will use to replace the default transformation for our teapot. So the teapot disappears as soon as we do that, and that is because there is really no transformation set by default. If I click edit plugin, you can see that the output is not really connected to anything, so literally the teapot is nowhere. And to specify a transformation, I'm going to create a new object called xform3, and xform3 in the lab is a type that specifies a three-dimensional transformation consisting of a position, rotation, and a scale. And I'm going to start by typing xform3 here and using the look_at function. The look_at function, if I create it, takes three parameters. It takes a position, which is going to be where the exact location where our teapot will be. It takes a direction, which is kind of like saying where it's supposed to look. And then the up vector is just something that has to be different from a direction vector to avoid some inconsistencies in the algorithm. So first thing I'm going to do is specify position, and I'll just drag this out and put it right into an input port, so this way we create a user interface for our position. And direction and up vectors I will just specify as constant values, so I will create a vector 3 taking three components, and I'm going to pipe this one into direction, and the direction is going to be basically looking down towards z-axis, which is something I just randomly picked out, but it's not really important as long as you pick out a unit vector. And then we'll do the same thing for our up vector. And the up vector is actually going to be different from our direction. It's going to be the y coordinate, or the y axis, so we'll put 1 for the y here. And then the output we'll just wire into the output of our graph, and there we go. This is our teapot. And if I'll start changing the position parameters, we can see that we are really changing the position of the teapot. And if I go inside the graph and I start messing around with these parameters, I can then just screw around with the matrix and make it skew the teapot or do other funky stuff with it. But this is not really what we want to do in a typical everyday scenario. So this is the basic transformation tutorial, and I will try to get a little bit more in depth in the next one.